Hello and welcome to What the Hey. Thank you very much for joining me to learn the answer to a question that I received. And when I go to my notebook of knowledge, I see that the question is written as, who the hey is Arglefumph? And this question was received by my brain because I thought of the topic and I actually wanted to do some research on it and then give you the answer. So thank you to me, I guess. So in order to give an answer to this question, the best way to do so is by looking at a channel description on YouTube, because first and foremost, this is a YouTube channel that I'm talking about today. If you look at the About section on the channel, there's a little blurb that says Arglefumph has been delighting gamers and book lovers alike since 2007 with his entertaining videos. I would say, to answer the question in my own words, that Arglefumph is a YouTube channel that typically dedicates his content to video game Let's Plays and commentaries. He also has some book reviews, and then he also has some vlogs. What I'm going to be talking about for the sake of this video, like I mentioned, is the overall YouTube channel, but he does have a few other social media accounts, so if you don't just use YouTube, there's probably other options. If you're someone who likes access to early content, Arglefumph does have a Patreon account where he posts videos early, rather than just normally waiting for them on YouTube. They're eventually going to release on YouTube, but that account is there for that purpose, and then also just supporting Arglefumph in general. He also has an X/Twitter account. There's nothing on there post-wise yet, but it exists. And then he also has an Instagram and a Facebook where he kind of just posts general stuff about his family, content, literature, video game stuff. So basically the same content that's on YouTube, but in different formats. Now I'll discuss this more later, but this channel has existed on YouTube since like forever. Like, it started on September 25th of 2007. It has around 86 million channel views, around 67.4 thousand subscribers, and around 9,000 videos. So if you're new to this channel, there's a lot of content to check out. As far as checking out the channel is concerned, if you want to find the easiest way to do that, that's either looking up the channel in the search bar, but I'll also have the channel tagged in the description of this video, so if you want to check them out for yourself, you can. Prior to discussing some of my opinions about this channel, I did want to go over the layout of the channel. That way you can find specific content that you may or may not have a preference for. A feature on this channel that you may want to check out would be the live streams category, which there is a good number of those from the past. I would say the live streams and the general content on the channel is, fairly similar because most, if not all of it, is gaming related. I would say the primary difference between the main channel uploads and the live streams would be the fact that there is actual interaction in the live stream. So if you actually like to hear when Arglefumph, interacts with the audience, then the live streams might be for you. There's a lot of regular videos that are already super long, so it's almost like a live stream. But if you like that hint of interaction, those might be for you. Another section of content on this channel that you could tap into would be the podcast category. This is probably one of the most unique podcasts I've seen on YouTube because all of the podcast episodes from Arglefumph are related to Sofia the First, like the animated TV show. And although I'm not someone who's ever watched Sofia the First, when I was looking through some of the podcast episodes and listening to some of them, my favorite aspect of these podcast episodes is that they involve his family. I'll discuss this more later, but the Arglefumph channel has a lot of his family, like his kids and his wife, included in the content, and I would say the whole podcast section is a good example of that, because you'll have his kids talking about Sofia the First, which makes sense because it's a kids show, but to see that they're involved in that is just really cool. So if you would like to hear some very educational and very detailed information and discussion about Sofia the First, you can tap into that if you want to. If you're interested in watching some of the gaming videos on Arglefumph's channel, but you're not exactly sure where to start, if you go to the playlist section on the channel, there's so many playlists that are dedicated and organized by the different games that Arglefumph has played. So if you want to watch him play something Barbie related, or primarily a lot of, Nancy Drew stuff, there are so many playlists, so it's all very organized. So that's there for you. Finally, there are countless community posts that Arglefumph has done where he basically announces new releases on Patreon before they're put on YouTube. So once again, if you want early access to content, that will be listed there. I saw a few community posts that were talking about and kind of asking what kind of content the audience wants to watch. So they're not always announcements about new videos, but that's primarily what they are. For this next section of the video, I wanted to briefly list some examples of actual videos on the channel. That way, if you don't know what else to watch, you can check out one of these. Starting with the oldest video on the channel, which is titled Shamrock's Irish Dance, which was uploaded on September 25th of 2007. The newest video is titled Culprit Swap Number 3, Nancy Drew, Message in a Haunted Mansion, which was uploaded on November 5th of 2025. And the most popular video on the channel is titled Enigmatis, The Mists of Ravenwood, Full Game, No Commentary, which was uploaded on June 29th of 2023 and has around 1.9 million views. So starting to delve into some of my opinions about this channel, first and foremost, if you love Nancy Drew, like the books, the video games, anything like that, this channel is 100% for you. If you go to the main page of the channel, you will see that he is literally associated with being called the Nancy Drew dude, and I would say that's 100% accurate. I think the only Nancy Drew book that I've ever read was one about a horse or something, it was a ranch cowboy western type deal, and it was good. I feel like because I've watched this channel a lot, I should have read more, so I probably will. I would say that if you're someone who really enjoys watching people play video games, but you get overwhelmed when people are talking the whole time, this channel is really good for that. I feel like this channel is one of the first ever Let's Play channels that I heard about and I witnessed growing up, as a kid. So watching someone solve games and then not talking while they're doing it is so straightforward and very helpful, because sometimes when you're watching people play stuff, it's overwhelming and very chaotic to try and focus on one thing or the other. So I like the videos where he's not talking, but I also like the videos where he's talking, so it's a good balance. Another thing about the video game content that I really like is the fact that there are so many different games that Arglefumph has played. A lot of it has to do with Nancy Drew, but then you also have examples of stuff like Ace Attorney, and then you have stuff where it's Barbie Horse Adventure, Mystery Ride or whatever, or Barbie Vet, all this stuff. I think there's Muppet Babies in there. There's so many random games in there. A lot of them are more family-friendly oriented, or mystery, solving crimes kind of stuff, but it's all very fun. So I like the fact that there's a wide range of stuff to check out. One thing about Arglefumph that is really cool is the fact that he really enjoys literature, and one of the examples for this is the fact that some of the Nancy Drew videos that he's done are related to stories that he's come up about Nancy Drew, about the characters and stuff, taking the basis for a game but adding his own spin on it. So you'll hear him narrate his own stories and use, games and clips from Nancy Drew to do it. I think that's very unique. I've literally never seen anyone else do it, so I think it's cool. But like I briefly mentioned, this channel is probably one of the earliest channels that I ever encountered in general. My cousins that I grew up with and visited quite a lot introduced me to this channel because they had a bunch of the Nancy Drew games that you could play on your PC or whatever. I think the first one they ever played was the one about the White Wolf or whatever. And I remember being young and watching them play it, but I also remember them pulling up the Arglefumph videos and then sending them to us as well so we could watch them. So this channel, for me, a lot of the times it's just something nostalgic, but I do also appreciate it for the video game commentaries and stuff. However, despite enjoying the video game content, I would say my favorite video from this channel is one where he's following a recipe for Dave's deviled potatoes is what it is. And the reason why I like it a lot is the fact that in the video when he's having someone taste test it, it's one of his kids, and you can hear him, one of the kids come over and he's try it, and then the kid's yay. And I just love that. It's so family oriented, which literally goes into my next point about the channel. Growing up, I didn't realize that this guy had kids. Like, whenever I watched the Nancy Drew videos, they had no commentary in it, so like you didn't really learn much about the person playing the game. But once I revisited this channel, I was like, this dude has kids. Like, he has been on YouTube for forever, and he's like married, he has kids, he has like a dog and stuff. Like, dude is so successful, and it's just crazy. Like, I've never seen a channel so wholesome that has stuck around on YouTube for so long. I think it's really cool.
Alright, just a little bit over here. I've got a guest, a taste tester here.
So I would say if you're looking for a channel that does gaming content or talks about literature or whatever, but does it in a very wholesome and chill, like not chaotic way, this is a fun channel to like check out. It's very nostalgic for me, so I guess I kind of have some bias in that way, but still, it's so fun. So once again, I will have the channel tagged in the description of this video, so feel free to check them out if you want. But hopefully that was a good intro, or just some good fun information to hear. But I believe that is the answer to the question, so thank you very much for watching. Bye.